Hello, my name is Brant Hunt, and my channel is Discerning What is True, that is on YouTube. And I am going to be sharing from Phil Langdon's book again today as I examine the revelations of the Holy Spirits that has been decoded by Phil Langdon. This book was written, I think, in 2021. Let's see if I'm correct here. I'm guessing that this book is, yes, 2021. Phil Langdon lives in London, UK. Um, he has had the ascension uh, moment in his life. He has pursued God, I guess, since he was a young teenager, is what I understand, trying to find God, mainly through science, is what he spent most of his time in, relating to that, trying to prove or disprove God and who was he and what he was about. So this particular chapter we're going to be reading from is called Chapter 7, and he has it entitled, it's a very short chapter, it's called 144,000 Sealed, Sealed. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this particular book. Again, this book is available. Just simply go to Phil Langdon's YouTube channel, which I spelled his name here right here for you. You can go there, YouTube, and you can find this book available, and it's an ebook that is electronic, and you can read it for yourself and discover the truth about ascension. So let's get into it here. He also uses what I call these particular cards, the Rider Tarot cards. The colors are important here, revealing more to do with the particular book. He's also has shared with me, he did not write, but with Kabbalah. This is the book he recommends because there is a color code in this particular book. I don't know even if the author recognized that or not. We have talked about this book. I'm not saying the author is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying simply is that naturally he's not going to understand what it's all about, because this reveals a lot to do with the chakras. This reveals what we call the tree, type of thing. That is the way it's shaped. It's shaped just like a tree, so to speak, if you look at it. And then simply is, I had this book since 2020. He recommended it to me, and basically it's set on the shelf. I looked at it once, twice, read a few pages. Wasn't really into it at that time. So it stayed on the shelf. In other words, I read probably 15 pages, didn't understand it, and put it back away. But that's when you're not ready for something, sometimes it is put away because you don't understand it. I consider myself very fortunate to meet him. That is, I've never met him in life, that is, person to person, but I have met him online many times, roughly 8 times, I think it is. No, I'll take it back, 6 times. I usually either meet with him either once a week or maybe sometimes twice a week over the internet. He's gladly has given his time to me to share with me. I've never seen anyone who has done this in this type of way. I ask questions. He shares that with me. I record the questions I ask him and the answers. So we go through things that I have interest in, or not interest, but have questions in. So let's stop talking here and let's get to the book here. How about that? All right. So what he's talking about here is the 144,000 sealed. And on the first page you'll see here of this, you'll see the illustrated art of the chariot. The Rider-Waite tarot cards. So here we go. The 7th tarot card, that is the chariot, is the balance of the previous passive, that is lovers, in that it represents progression, movement, war, and great energy, often drawn with the god Mars riding the chariot, holding an axe of sword. The chariot embodies a need to harness both emotion and will and self-mastery, to balance the aspect of the heart and mind, overcoming conflict, to harness our best qualities which give us the needed energy, focus, and will to bring about a successful conclusion. The seventh Hebrew letter is Zayin, Zayin, seven, meaning also crown. There are crowns called Zayin, Zayenin, on many of the Hebrew letters. Zayin also means weapons and looks like a sword, you see. In addition, Zayin means zun, meaning to sustain. These three definitions are interrelated. That is Shabbos, Shabbos, meaning the crown of creation, is also the day that blesses and therefore sustains the following week by observing Shabbos. That is Shabbos, a day of rest in the week to enhance our intellectual understanding through meditation. And meditation, when I ask you the question about meditation, it's not what everybody thinks. Okay? Everybody thinks that simply meditation is emptying your mind. Not so. It is actually a pursuit of what I call asking questions, the contrast and comparison of those. In other words, is there a God or not? So you think these things in your head. That is what this means. It does not mean emptying your mind. It's quite the opposite. So you are doing meditation, but it's not meditation as we've been told almost everywhere today. You listen to these people who have gotten millions and millions of followers, and basically they are seducing you. They're fooling you. And they have no answers. They don't have the answers, folks. They don't. Because they've never experienced ascension. And if they have not experienced it, they cannot explain it because it never happened to them. Get it? So there's always a comparison in your mind. That's what Sabbath means simply. It doesn't. The day of rest, people think it's simply for me to, sleep and such, but that's not what it really means. Interesting for sure. So it's always to do. So it's anti-intellectual through meditations. One assesses these blessings, which then gives us the weapon to overcome all negativity, especially the evil inclinations of the lower samadhi divisions. Applied to the 144,000 of the crowning, conquering hero, we find the illuminate about to enter a new divine life of mastery and clarity. By the way, we are here. Our lives should be the story of a hero. Our lives should be one who is soldiering on various things we have to deal with in our lives, various things that simply has to do with traumas, various things to do with heartbreak, various issues to do with, being not successful, quote unquote, into the world's eyes, someone who has plenty of money, so to speak, and they are the envy of others. But in reality, they're just as lost as anybody else, as someone who's poor. It just, it may be a little bit easier to ride, so to speak, but in reality, they will die also. So this is, again, this is why people, meditation is not about basically empty your mind. That's quite the opposite. Interesting, the flip, you see. And the reason why I share that simply is to you is because I've talked to him about it. So I'm just sharing some of the things, the answers that I have from some of my questions. So Revelation chapter 7, I'm going to read this. Verse 1. And this is going to be, he is going to read from, called, After this, I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth. Again, holding back the four winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or on the sea or any tree. Again, remember the earth is an element here, not a physical earth. Okay, it's not a physical, it's not pertaining to what we're living on here. It is to do with an element or a sign. Then I saw another angel coming up from the east, having the seal of the living God. He called out in a loud voice to the four angels who had been given power to harm the land, and the sea. So he's got an illustration here in this black part here. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to show it to you here. And he's revealing simply is that the trees in black, the sea in red, and the land in white. So the trees are in black, the sea is in red, and the land is white. Now remember, those are key colors also. The black, red, and white are key also. 4 angels, that is 4 corners, or what we call 4 winds, is 3 times 4 equals 12. The cosmic number as the zodiac applied to the highest somatic center, followed by 3 lower centers. That is the Son of God, that is the angel from the east, saying, it says, not to harm any lower centers of the body until the seal has been established in God's angelical servants at the head, with the opening of the 7th seal about to come. Quote, holding back the 4 winds of the earth tells us when the 7th seal is open, the highest somatic center, that is the head, relating to the element air or wind, will be strengthened with the seal, that is seal Son of God, who is the 5th element, made from 4 before affecting the land, sea, and trees, the genitalia, the navel areas, and the heart center. So this is what he's speaking of in the black, the red, and the white here of the trees, the sea, and land. So again, these are symbolic things he's speaking of in the Bible here. It speaks again in verse 1 from growing on the land or on the sea or any tree. Verse 4, then I heard the number of those who were sealed, that is 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. This is where religious interpretation runs in trouble. The number 144,000 is written in Revelations as the number of angels, perhaps in total, having 12,000 each from 12 tribes. Is such a neat and tidy number? There is no way any number of angels are going to be picked like that from the earth, you see, especially when the word earth refers to the element of being earth. You see, this is where people get confused. Again, they're taking a literal interpretation, and they don't know, because they've never, again, have had ascension. They've never had a master teacher to teach them. They've taught themselves, and though they put themselves on a pedestal, when in reality they don't know. They don't. They're just a blind leading the blind. The text can certainly give the impression, but a little logic tells us that this cannot be the case. Elsewhere in Revelation, we have already heard the number of angels is in the tens of thousands, as we would expect. 10,000 times 10,000 is far more than 144,000. So who or what are the 144,000? Elaine Pagels, that is the professor of Gnostic studies at Princeton University, maintains the possible view that in ancient times, if a king wanted an army for hire, the count would always be 12,000 men as a standard block. Multiplying 12,000 by 12 tribes gives 144,000. 12 square is 12 times 12 is 144. With little other historically to back this view, there may be a more appropriate answer. When looking for answers in the sympathetic nervous system, Eastern tradition shows that each chakra corresponds to the lotus with a certain number of petals. From the base chakra up to the 6th, there are 144 petals. Ascension then sees us fly up and out through the pineal chakra with its 1,000 petals above at the crown. Adding the number of petals at this point simply gives us 1,144, not 144,000. So we must multiply to account for the great expansion the number represents, as if each crown petal contains all the petals before it, like a fractal or a hologramic plate that contains the entire image in each of its cells. This, however, is still not a simple enough explanation. According to James M. Price, P-R-Y-S-E, on page 30 of the Apocalypse Unsealed, we are being told about the Greek gematria of the expression radiance, coming from the light or solar body. The wall of the solar body is the aura or radiance, hidasi. It's Hedoxa. But the letters of that name amount to only 143. That is, Lonius increased it to 144. He's talking about John, and we say Johannes, not Johannes, but Johannes, I should say. The square of 12 by adding another alpha, that is, we call 1, the measure of a man, that is, of a divinity. The light or solar body is also the center of the zodiac and contains all the signs at once, if 12,000 are the individual zodiac signs. 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel then would be 144,000. That is the solar body as the complete zodiac of the conquering 1,000 square of 12. That would be 144. One would have to transfer the 12 signs of the zodiac within themselves as their own personal labors of Hercules and discover only God. The simple present of the numbers, that is, of the number being 12 and 1,000, are enough to comply with the spirit/energy blueprint to suggest a unification in an angel of being 12 square. It's a square whose sides are 12 units in length, as if to suggest squaring the infinite circle of the self from the cosmos of 12. Multiplying the number of the conqueror, that is 1,000, gives the 1,444,000 of an angel, rising from the tomb of matter, having gained measure and understanding. Also, the gematria of 144 adds to 9. 1 plus 4 plus 4 equals 9, being the true number. So he's showing this here. He's going to show the 12-head zodiac here. And he's going to also point out the areas where the body are where these 12 body zodiac. So let me just explain this real quick here. The feet are what we call Pisces. The calves are what we call Aquarius. The knees are what we call Capricorn. Let's see if I can read it here real quick. It didn't help. Let me get my magnifying glass here. Bear with me just a second here. I may have to look at something else here. This is in small print here. It's very easy, hard to. The thighs are Sagittarius. The genitalia is Scorpio. The stomach area is Libra. I can't tell that. What is that? Looks like the inner chest, the lower part, what I call the abdomen, is Virgo. The lung area is Leo. Another step higher is Cancer. And then we get to the part where near the heart area, or the arm area, the arm spread out, is called Gemini. And then the area where the throat is called Taurus. And the highest area is called, with the head, near the pineal gland, is called Aries. Sorry about this. It's very difficult when your eyesight is not perfect. And I don't have this particular book on the computer for me to actually make it larger. He also shows and I'm going to show this to you right now so you can see it. So it's rather difficult to see. We'll continue with the print here. The 12 tribes are a figure of speech for the 12 intellectual centers. That is the zodiac. Starting with Leo, the line as Judah. 12,000 is an angel birthing number as a composite of the two numbers pertaining to metaphysics. That is 1,000 and physics being 12, the measure of man. So verse 5 says, from the tribe of Judah were 12,000 were sealed. From the tribe of Reuben was 12,000. From the tribe of Gad, 12,000 from verse 6. 12,000 from the tribe of Asher. 12,000 from the tribe of Naphtali. 12,000 from the tribe of Manasseh. 12,000 from the tribe of Simon. 12,000 from the tribe of Levi. 12,000 from the tribe of Ishar. 12,000 from the tribe of Zebulun. 12,000 from the tribe of Joseph, and 12,000 from the tribe of Benjamin, being 12,000. The tribes as zodiac signs have variations of Judah is Leo. Reuben is Aquarius. Gad is Aries. Asher is Libra. Naphtali is Virgo. Manasseh is Sagittarius. Simon is Pisces. Joseph is Taurus. Issachar is Cancer. Zebulun is Capricorn. Manasseh is Scorpio. And Benjamin is Gemini. Now you have to realize simply is that these tribes here are symbolic, representing, again, the zodiac. Either way, no matter the argument as to the origin of the number, the 144,000 corresponds to a single ascended angel, not a multitude of them numbering 144,000 in total. Also, since Revelation is not considered a historical count, we may discard the notion of an army, that being 144,000 strong. Nor will there be a great battle to end all evil on planet Earth or cosmic Earth. How can such a prospect be possible in a cosmos that is a tree of good and evil? The only sense that can be made from the destruction of evil on Earth is in the individual. It is only at the individual level that personal control is available only over the energy system at its disposal. There are trees of angels already, and all souls will become angels in the end, which suggests their count is beyond meaning. Verse 9, after this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and in front of the Lamb. They were wearing their white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. And they cried out in a loud voice, saying, salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb. Even when you read this with this part of the last part here, the verse here is what he's sharing here. It doesn't make sense, you see, again, about doing with the earth being destroyed with 144,000. This is preposterous. It's not what it's about. Those who are standing before the throne are the multitude of angels that no one can count. Then we read a tripart statement of veneration to the truth of reality that has transformed an ineffably unknowing soul into fully aware angelical shared spiritual wisdom. Our God is an ineffable God. In the first statement, who sits on the throne as the Son of God, the Lamb, Spirit is tripart. Verse 11, all the angels were standing around the throne and around the elders and the four living creatures. They fell down on their faces before the throne and worshiped God, saying, Amen. Praise and glory and wisdom and thanks and honor and power and strength be to our God forever and ever. Amen. The throne, the elders, and the four living creatures are all aspects of the Son of God. And again, we have 7 counts of praise, glory, wisdom, thanks, honor, power, and strength at ascension. In verse 13 says, Then one of the elders asked me, these in white robes, who are they, and where did they come from? 14 says, I answer, Sir, you know. And he said, These are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. And what he's talking about simply is the great tribulations, all the tribulations that we deal with, but it's more than that, okay? He explains that right now. The great tribulation is fundamentally physical life of incarnations, whose issue is the great work, completed by those who attain white robes by sacrificing their ego lives and pineal glands to a divine function. Thanks to God releasing his lifeblood symbolically that stains their robes white. That is, angels, in other words. So in reality here, if you understand this, tribulation is to what we call the many times that we reincarnated over and over and over and over and over and over again in our lives. Those are the tribulations of living on this planet. Because many times we've been here, we just don't know it. And there's those who claim they think they know it, when reality is simply is, I don't think they're telling you the truth. I don't think you understand. They're not telling you the truth. They're deceivers. You see. So there are just so many people who are deceiving others. And I do think they want, part of it's to do, when people do this, a lot of it may be due with what we call the ego, seeing themselves as better than you are or anybody, you see. And so they paint themselves this way, when reality simply is they are here. They also claim that they've been here, are here to help mankind. No, I don't think so neither, folks. You see, they're putting themselves on a pedestal. You need to be wary of people like this. Because in reality, they are deceiving themselves, but unfortunately, they're deceiving others. So let me finish up here this particular chapter. So, verse 15, therefore, they are before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple, and he who sits on the throne will spread his tent over them. Verse 16, never again will they hunger, never again will they thirst. The sun will not beat upon them, nor any scorching heat. Verse 17, for the Lamb at the center of the throne will be their shepherd. He will lead them to springs of living water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. So the Son of God, the cloud, is the home that tethers angels as their tent of protection in the abyss. So let's remind you here again what he's saying here, because it's key. The Great Tribulation is us going in reincarnations over and over and over again. It has nothing, again, to do with the planet Earth. It has nothing to do with that. And that's how many people are fooled today. Immensely fooled by those who choose to deceive you, or to lie to you, or to manipulate you, or to seduce you. So that's what he's saying. So he says people thirst and hunger, such as, and that means simply is what I'm seeing here is it's a spiritual hunger and thirst, seeking these things and not being able to find those things at that time, and they have to reincarnate again and again. So that is the conclusion of this particular chapter, chapter 7, with Phil Langdon explaining his book here called Revelations of the Holy Spirit, decoded by Phil Langdon. Again, I just would encourage you again to go to his YouTube channel. He has videos himself. You can research this if you have the desire. And don't do it because of me. Okay? It has nothing to do with me. He's the one who is actually ascended. So again, this is from the book. He's sharing with us, and is gifted himself and is given of himself to share this. Phil Langdon's not he's not anybody important, so to speak, in the public eye, because he's not. But he is telling the truth, as far as I can ascertain. So again, I thank you for being here today. Thank you for your listening. And may, again, I say, you have ears to hear and eyes to see, and may your heart see the truth. Take care.